Hello everyone. So today let's discuss the next topic, that is the stem. Okay, the continuation of the morphology of flowering plants. So this is the second morphological structure that we are going to study today. So when we are studying about the stem, that is the shoot system, now this it emerges from the plumule, that is called the future shoot. Okay, now what is actually stem? It is the ascending part of the plant which develops fruits, flowers, buds, leaves. Okay, it develops from the plumule and is positively phototropic. That means it grows towards the light, isn't it? So these are the basic characters mainly of the or the definition of a stem. When we say what is stem, so this is the ascending part of the plant. Okay, now it bears node and internodes. Now as you can see in the diagram itself, here the nodes and internodes are present. See, these are the nodes which are bearing the leaves and buds, and the portion between the nodes is known as the internodal portions. Okay, now when we are talking about the stem, definitely we are getting the term called bud, isn't it? So what is actually a bud? Bud is a condensed immature or embryonic shoot which has the power of growing. Okay, that means it has a growing point which is surrounded by immature leaves. So definitely when buds are present, that means growth will take place in these particular positions. And the largest bud that we see is the cabbage. Now you know, all of you are familiar with cabbage. So cabbage is the largest bud. Okay, now sometimes what happen in aquatic plants also, some fleshy buds develop. Those are called the turions. Okay, as for example in case of Utricularia, the fleshy buds, turions are present. Now let's see the characters of stem. What are the basic characters? Now they develop from the plumule. They are ascending part. They have nodes and internodes. They have hairs which are multicellular. Okay, then leaves and stem branches are all present which are exogenous in origin. The nodal portion possesses leaves, fruits and flowers. Okay, so all these things are related to the main structures of the stem. Now next, when we are talking about stem, so definitely branching portion will also come. So based on that, we find two types of branching. Okay, one is called the dichotomous branching. Dichotomous branching means when the branches takes place in two directions. As you can see, this is the dichotomous branching, means everywhere. This is the main stem, it is dividing into two parts. This is the branches, they are also again dividing into two parts, isn't it? So these are the dichotomous branching. This is normally observed in case of algae, bryophytes, but basically in angiosperms, these types of branches are not found. The next one is the lateral branch. Lateral branch is observed in case of angiospermic flowers or plants. Okay, it is of again two types, a racemose or monopodial branches. Okay, which develops in acropetal succession. That means the basal portions will have the older branches, above their younger branches are present. And cymose type of branching, in which the tip portion or the axil portion, it ends in a bud or a flower. Okay, or a tendril or a thorn, and the lateral branches goes on developing. Now based on this, actually this can be again divided into three types: uniparous or monocachial, then biparous or dicachial, and multiparous or polycachial. Now suppose the branching is taking place, normally we are telling that the apical portion is taking the whole active role for the developing of the branches. Suppose for some reason this particular apical portion is not developing the branches, and then one of the lateral buds will take the activity, okay, or continue the process of growth, further growth, then that particular process is known as uniparous or monocachial. Okay, then this is again of two types, scorpioid and helicoid. So if the branches develop on both the sides, then it is called scorpioid. As you can see this one, here branching is taking place in this side also, or in this one, B1, B2. So that means this is a scorpioid type of branching system. And this is helicoid, that means only in one direction the branching is taking place. Okay, so these are all monocachial branchings. Then next one is the biparous or the dicachial branching. That means here what happens, instead of one, two lateral buds will continue the growth of the axis. That means the initial bud, terminal bud is inactive, so two lateral buds will take the function of development. So that is called biparous or dicachial. And multiparous or polycachial. Now this you can see the diagram here, the two lateral buds are responsible for the growth. Here what happened, the terminal bud is inactive and from the sides 2, 3, 4 or like that buds will develop and they will take the part in development or growth of the plant. Okay, so this is known as multiparous or polycachial. So here the basic thing is that the terminal bud is inactive. If one lateral bud is taking the role, uniparous, two lateral buds taking the role, biparous, if more than two, then multiparous. Okay, now next we come to the different forms of stem. So for forms of stem, as you can see, this is called the caudex, which has a cylindrical stem and a foliage of leaf at the top portion. Okay, this is deliquescent, that means it has a great foliage of branching is there in the above portion. This is called excurrent, which has a triangular foliage, and this is called culm, which we observe in case of bamboo. Here it has long solid nodes, hollow internodes. Okay, and last one is the scape, that is we observe in case of onion, that is the fleshy scale leaves. So these are the different forms of stem that we normally observe in the plants surrounding us. Next we come to the modifications of stem. Okay, so first modification, that means they will undergo some particular type of changes in their structure in order to adjust to their surroundings. So first modification, let's see in the case of aerial stems. So while we are studying about the aerial stems, they are normally weak stems, isn't it? So first we get is the twiners. So what are actually twiners? These are thin structures which, okay, these are long, flexible, sensitive stems which coil around a support in the form of a rope. Okay, as you can see in the diagram, they are just coiling around a support in the form of a rope. So this is called twiners. Now twiners may be either sinistrose or dextrose. If they are coiling in a clockwise manner, okay, then it is known as dextrose. So this one is coiling in a clockwise manner, this is dextrose. This is coiling in an anti-clockwise manner, this is known as sinistrose. Okay, so these things are important. What is dextrose, what is sinistrose? Then next we come to the climbers. Climbers like that of the twiners only, they also climb in the or with the help of a particular support they will grow, but the thing is that they require some clasping organs. That means here clinging roots are present. These clinging roots will help them to grasp the particular support and continue its growth. Next we come to the subaerial weak stems. Okay, so subaerial weak stems, that is we first come to the trailers. Trailers, these are short trails. Okay, they spread horizontally along the ground surface. Okay, so they show rootings at nodal portions. Okay, so based on that we find different types of, first is the procumbent, when the trailers that grow flat on the ground and they spread in one direction, then they are called the procumbent. Decumbent means those which trail and they have a raised apices. That means they will grow for a particular distance and raise their apices. This is called the decumbent. And diffuse means the structure which will, that means start branching in all directions. Okay, procumbent, it branch only in one direction. Decumbent, it will move and raise its apex. Diffuse, that means it will branch in all directions. Okay, these are all the trailers. Then next we come to the runners. Runner means these particular structures, they are green and grow up horizontally above the ground. Okay, or prostrate branches they have. They spread in different directions. The nodal portions, they will have adventitious roots. Okay, and above aerial shoots are developed. Okay, this particular structure is called the runner, with scale leaves, aerial shoots and adventitious roots. For example, we observe in case of lawn grasses. Okay, Centella, oxalis, these are the good examples to show the runner. Then next is stolon, which we observe in case of strawberries. Okay, here the stems are elongated, horizontal and arced runners. Okay, they are considered as arc runners, which can cross over small obstacles. That means whenever they are moving, okay, then suppose they are getting an obstacle, then what happen? They will just raise their tip portion and finally they will continue its growth. That's why it is helpful for overcoming obstacles. Next we come to offset. Offset, which is, it has one internode. Okay, and these are long small runners which are found in rosette types. Okay, this will have, you can see these are the groups of leaves. These are the petioles and this is the lamina, and base of this adventitious roots develop. These particular hydrophytes, they will have root pockets instead of root caps. Okay, this already we have studied in our earlier classes. So this is the offset which is observed in case of Eichhornia. Okay, then next we come to the what is called underground stem modification. That is, the first is the sucker. Sucker, that is a special non-green slender stem which arise from an underground base of the erect stem. So this is the erect stem. From the base of this, a new portion develops. It will develop the roots and ultimately leaves are formed. So this is called sucker. This we observe in case of chrysanthemum, mint, banana plant also. Okay, then next is the rhizome. This is a perennial fleshy underground modification. So it will have some buds. Okay, axillary buds are present. They will develop aerial shoots. These aerial shoots, they are formed during the favorable seasons, and during the unfavorable season they perform pollination. Okay, they have nodes and internodes. Scale leaves are present. So this is the structure of a rhizome. Now this rhizome can be divided into two types. One is rootstock, other is straggling. Rootstock matlab the ones which grow obliquely and the tip portion is just slightly above the soil. That means which you observe in case of ferns, Dryopteris. Okay, and other one is the straggling one which we observe in case of ginger. Then next one is the corm. These are also some fleshy structures, okay, modifications which have circular nodes and they bear some buds. As you can see in the diagram, these buds develop into aerial shoots. Okay, they may develop new outgrowths. So this is the structure of a corm. An example we observe in case of colocasia. Then next one is the stem tuber. Stem tuber example we get in case of potatoes. Okay, these are underground swollen stems which does not bear any adventitious roots, but they have some small depressions which are called the eyes. Okay, as you can see in the diagram, labeling is there. These depressions are called the eyes. Okay, now this is an underground stem modification, whereas earlier we have got sweet potato which is an root modification. Okay, next is the bulb which is observed in case of onion. Here these are pyriform shape, that is pear shaped structures. Okay, they have scales, fleshy scales are present. It can be divided into two types. One is tunicated and other is scaly. In case of tunicated, which we observe in case of onions, here fleshy scales are arranged in more or less concentric fashion. As you can see, they are concentric arrangement. Okay, and in case of scales, that is the scaly bulb, it is observed in case of lily. Here what happened? An outer membrane tunic is absent. In onion, an outer membrane tunic is present, but here tunic is absent. Here the fleshy scales are just overlapping one over the other. Okay, then we come to some aerial stem modifications. That is, first we come to the stem tendrils. These are modifications of the stem which are very much essential for helping them to climb on over other supports. Okay, this is a important modification. Then next we come to hooks. Hooks are the curved portions of the pedicel or the floral stalk. Okay, so you can see here, this is the flower, so this is the pedicel. This pedicel just curves like that of a hook, and it forms the extra modification. Then we come across thorns. Thorns also, it is a modification of the stem. Okay, they become hard, pointed, and just becomes like that of the thorns. As you can see in the diagram, different types of thorns are there. So these basically provide protection so that animals do not come and eat them. Okay, now here we get thorns are actually the modifications of stem. Spines are the modifications of leaf and leaf parts. Prickles, which we get, they are superficial hard structures which are born over the surface of stem and leaves. And bristles, these are modifications of hairs where depositions of silica and calcium carbonate take place. Okay, next we come to the phylloclade. This is a very good important for your exam purpose. Okay, phylloclade, this observed in case of Opuntia. Here the stem modifies into a green fleshy structure. Here some segments are present. These segments possess some areoles. Okay, then spines are present. Okay, thorn-like structures are present which reduces the rate of transpiration and help them to overcome the xerophytic conditions. Now cactus, we know they always grow in dry conditions, so these particular modifications help them to overcome the xeric condition. Then next is cladode, which is observed in case of asparagus. Here what happened, the leaves, they got modified into spines. Okay, so here the structure you can see, the leaves are getting modified into spines. These are modifications which will help them to overcome some particular stressful conditions, that means xeric conditions. So these are all the different types of modifications. And another is the thalamus. Thalamus, that is the stem, condensed stem axis which forms the base of the flower. It consists of the floral holes. Okay, so these are all together the different modifications of stem. And as we know, stem, it is the main structure for anchorage of the plant. Okay, it is the erect portion which will most exposed to the sunlight. It will bear the leaves which help in photosynthesis. It bears xylem and phloem tissues, that is conduction tissues are present which will help in conduction of food and water. Okay, they will provide protection to the plant by forming spines and thorns. They develop tendrils which help in climbing purpose. So all these are the different types of functions of the stem. So hope this video is clear to you. Go through it properly. Go through the notes, the books and the videos. If you have any problem, any difficulties, then let me know.